Hello and welcome to a Fallout 76 video. Today I'm going to show you how to gather the materials to make the Power Armor's Targeting HUD mod. Now I've already gone to a vendor and purchased the Targeting HUD mod. The next step you have to have is you have to wait for a nuke to drop, because you need to head there as quickly as possible to gather all of the ingredients you need to make the HUD, and it's quite considerable. I'm using it right now on the first set of power armor, my excavator power armor, so if you see a red glow around living creatures that are not humans like teammates, then you know it's working. So, in addition to the mod, you need to have 50 crimson flux, 5 hardened mass, 5 glowing mass, and 5 high radiation fluids. Now, when I did this the first time, I had a teammate and the blast zone was larger and lasted longer, and I found more of the crimson flux. But your first stage is to find as many of the glowing creatures as you can and harvest the masses and the fluids that you need. Now, if they've been sitting for a while and they have like a meat pile, chances are you'll find a hardened mass in there. It's ultracite. Even though it's not listed as ultracite that you can use as scrap, a hardened mass is actually ultracite. So there's 1 high radiation fluid and a level up for me. So this first time I'm just using my 1000 protection radiation suit, the hazmat suit, and my axe. I got killed a couple times and then kind of smartened up and put the power armor on. But the power armor doesn't offer as much protection. Sometimes 50 radiation per piece, so you have to pop right away. I prefer just using the hazmat suit, but in this time I got killed quite a few times, so I decided, okay, I'm just gonna get in the power armor suit. There's the suit. Those were the glowing mass. I take the glowing blood and nuclear waste because you can always use those later. Ionized meat was there. You can actually eat that. It's no problem. If you take it with some raw flux, the raw flux gives you 5 minutes of no disease or low disease resistance. So if you take that first, a raw flux and something else, I got killed there, then you have the opportunity to have the food without the ionized meat without disease. So we go back in again. I think I do it twice in the hazmat suit before I decide to put the power armor suit. Now you cannot fast travel inside a blast zone, so you have to find the nearest location and basically walk in. If you're on a team, you can fast travel to your teammate. So sometimes the way we do it at the White Spring is one person stays inside, and if you die outside, then you can always fast travel back to somebody in the White Spring. It also happens too if a server crashes, then you don't miss out on all the things you can pick up during one of these blast zone events. So we'll go back in again and see what else we can find. This is a long process. It can take a couple of hours for you to gather everything you need, and you have to work quickly because the fluxes you're gathering have a condition. So you have to get them to a chemistry bench and stabilize them or purify them before we can use them for the HUD display. And this is just a reminder that all the buses are safe zones. The creatures can't get inside the bus, so you can pick them off in the doorway one at a time and then they just pile up. It's also a good place to go quietly, sort your stuff, check things, make sure you're getting what you need, as opposed to traveling into the White Spring and reloading and loading and loading and then reloading to come back out. Just head into a bus. Well, that didn't work out again. So now we'll head back to our respawn point. It's going to charge us a couple of caps. And this time we're going to get our power armor on. So I chose this Instigating Sledgehammer. It's a legendary I found on a drop. A lot of high-end players just drop a paper bag full of legendary items. Sometimes you can get 10 or 12 pieces and not have to kill anything. You just find the paper bag and pick everything up. They just have so much stuff that they're unloading. So what I did with this Instigating Sledgehammer is it deals 50% damage, more damage when the thing you're trying to kill is at full health. So I added a rocket mod to it, so it's more powerful. So sometimes it only takes 1 or 2 hits. That other player, they were just farming the legendary items, and I got a little hit in, so I got a legendary sickle. Don't need it, so I can sell it. You cannot scrap legendary items. You can either drop them, or sell them, or give them to somebody, but you cannot scrap them. So this is our 3rd time around to the back of the service area, what I call it the laundry area. This place is usually packed with about 10 or 15 glowing ones. The other favorite spot for legendary farming or gathering more nuclear material is the golf club. It's behind the tennis court area, and we'll be going over there next. Once you see that little domed gazebo, you know you're in the right spot. Behind that is the tennis court, and just to the left of it is a little sidewalk with a bus at the end, and you're at the main entrance for the golf club. And sometimes there's 20 or 25 NPCs you can kill for legendaries and other things. And there's our fallback point, the bus. You can see there must have been 10 meat piles there already. So we can check out and see if there's any of the ingredients that we need. Remember, we're looking for hardened mass, glowing mass, high radiation fluids. And definitely take the ionized meat. Sometimes I let it sit a little longer, just to see if it'll turn into the hardened mass if it's ionized meat. So sometimes I leave a few and take a few. And there's the entrance to the golf club. And there are at least 3 or 4, so I run to the bus and wait to see how many come out. They are really fast too. You can see how fast they skitter across the map, and they can be all over you in a matter of seconds, like 10 or 15 of them. There goes one guy. Let's see how many more come out and whether it's safe to pick one off. See how fast they are? So I think I'm safe enough to go grab this guy. Even though you're in a hazmat suit, you can still pick up diseases from the diseased glowing ones. And just like that, the rad storm has cleared. There will be no radiation in the air, so you can switch back out of power armor into a hazmat suit. Or just normal body armor. So here I am, just in the bus doorway. There's only about 3 of them. It's quite low because I think other players have already gone through. Now you can see, I'm actually using the targeting HUD. You can see a thin red glow around these guys up until they die. You can kind of see a little bit here. The targeting HUD obviously works best at night. And I have some footage at the end of the video showing me running around using the targeting HUD. Oh, you can see a little bit there on one of the robots. It took a little while for it to kind of kick in. Right now what I'm looking for is the red hot bloom. And there it is. You need to collect 50 of these plants. Now I have the perk that doubles, so I only have to find 25, but I had a really hard time. I think on this run I only managed to find 10. So in total, so it gave me just enough to do 1 stable crimson flux, and I need 5. So once we're done picking up these plants, we can head inside and actually show you how to do the nuked flora kind of smelting or stabilization.
One more thing to clean up. One more thing to clean up.
Okay, let's head inside and stabilize the flux. What we're doing is we're making it stable or pure. And we have to do that at the chemistry bench.
Do try not to track blood on the carpet.
Okay, scroll down to Nuked Flora. Stable or pure crimson flux. And we have enough to make one. Miraculously, 5 crimson fluxes appear, and there's my targeting HUD. So I've actually backtracked and showing you all the ingredients already assembled. Got the targeting HUD mod. I've got my 5 stable crimson fluxes. I'm going to drop my power armor frame. And finally, after all this work, put the HUD in. Now, like I said, I was using it for the first part of the video, but I'll show you some better footage at the end. So these are all the ingredients you need for the targeting HUD. There you go, targeting HUD display. And of course I'm short aluminum. Luckily I had my husband playing along as a teammate, so I quickly exit the power armor station. There's always something I forget, or you just don't have enough of one thing. So, hey dear, can you give me a couple bits of aluminum? Thank you very much. And back in. So now we can finally modify the helmet so it has a targeting HUD. The list is quite considerable, but it was a lot of fun actually going and gathering these. Just like modding up weapons, you can gather up ultracite and all the ingredients to modify your weapons to shoot plus 25% in some cases to kill scorched with a special scorched receiver. I did it with a hunting rifle and it bricked it, so I have to contact Bethesda about that. And but the 5.56 worked really well. Okay, this is the first run with the targeting helmet. And I'm wondering why he's not targeted red. So I asked him just to quickly get out of his power armor. And even in hazmat suit. So I told him just switch out to your normal body armor while I go and find something else to see if the HUD display works. So I think it's made not to highlight other players. And at the time, that was the first robot I came against, so it wasn't working then. But this one was. It was still pretty faint.
Good afternoon, mademoiselle.
See if he's got his armor back on, and of course he just throws on some ridiculous thing. Nope. Doesn't work on fellow players. It really should, especially if you're doing PvP hunter-hunted, then you can see them in the dark without having your headlamp on or your Pip-Boy light on. So let's head back to camp. It's dark, so we can really see this thing in action. And you can already see it working on the automatic gun things, I can't remember. Turrets. So that's what it looks like when you have the best lighting conditions. So now we just have to find something to hunt. There's usually rad stag around here. But there's also a little super mutant kind of colony down in Grafton, so we can head down into the Grafton area and see what we can find. And there we go. And as soon as they're dead, it just goes away. And one more example, just down the road, I was running to this supply drop, and there were a couple of creatures that also lit up really well. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you do the mod, let me know what you think of it. I know it's a lot of work, but hey, if you're out running around anyways looking for legendary items or something, you might as well gather these materials and save them. There may be other mods that need the same ingredients. This was just using the crimson flux. For the other fluxes, just keep saving them up, because when you get your mod, you'll be able to build it right away. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in the wasteland.